Right, I'm going to call to order the regular meeting of the Ojai Arts Commission. I guess we got to do roll call. You're supposed to do this, Carl. Welcome, Carl Alameda.
Yes, welcome to your first meeting of the Arts Commission.
Why, thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you. All right, let's go ahead and do the roll call. Chair West?
Present.
All right, Chair, I'm sorry, is it Vice Chair Steiner?
Here.
Commissioner Chisholm?
Present.
Commissioner Freeman?
Here.
And then Chair, I don't want to mispronounce.
Row.
Grau, okay.
Here.
Thank you. 5-0.
Pledge allegiance. Oh, here we go. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'm going to move some things here in respect for the people that are here, too. So I'm going to move presentations right now, and then public comments, consent items, and then move 6B to 6A, because it involves people. I want to be respectful of the people here. So nice to see people here. Welcome. Who's introducing the? Yeah, Commissioner Grau, please.
I'd like to invite Lucinda Yates to come to the podium. She represents the Ojai Studio artists.
So first we're doing a presentation. We try at every meeting to do a presentation about a community event or a community arts organization. So we're going to hear from OSA now, fresh off the successful tour, and following that, continuing with the OSA theme, we will be addressing the two beautiful works that are in front of us.
Well, hello. I'm going to just put this up here a little higher for me. So my name is Lucinda Yates, and I'm the Vice President of the Ojai Studio Artists. Along with that, I also oversee the PR and marketing. Last year, you awarded the Ojai Studio Artists a grant of $5,000. And I'm here to tell you kind of what happened with that, sort of give you a look at that, and also to say thank you. Thank you to you, and to you, Nigel, and to you, Smitty, and to you, Christine, and to you, Pamela. And Carl, thanks for being here. Were you part of that last year?
Mm-mm.
No. Well, welcome, because we'll be coming back.
Noted.
So let me start by throwing some data at you. We mailed out 10,000 postcards. We distributed 1,500 brochures, and we opened 65 studios to include 5 new guest artists. We registered over 3,200 people for tickets, and way over 2,000 volunteer hours went into making this Ojai Studio Artist Tour successful. So, are you ready for a few logistics? Okay. We partnered with the Chamber of Commerce, who handed out brochures in Libby Park on the Saturday morning before the tour weekend. Nordhoff students, they volunteered, and I love that because they got to act like adults and hand out brochures and talk to locals and to the tourists. You all have a brochure in front of you, and I love this brochure. I think it's one of the nicest brochures that have been done since I've been involved with OSA, and I hope that you love it too. I just think they're beautiful. Jamie Fleming, the Chamber's CEO, designed pocket-sized mini maps, and if you look in there, you got to check those out. They're so brilliant. Just check them out. They're just amazing. They're of all the businesses in Ojai and all the other communities in the valley, and on the back are maps of where you can go hiking. How he managed to get that all color-coded and on that little piece of paper that you can stick in your top shirt pocket, I'm just stunned by. We partnered with the Ojai Valley Museum, and the annual exhibition was held there. Friday night before the tour, there was a reception. Brochures were distributed there as well, highlighting artists, the neighborhood maps, and businesses. Tour goers got a chance to jumpstart their planning for the weekend. Now, this is what I think is going to happen to these beautiful brochures. People loved them, and they took them home, and I think they're going to end up on coffee tables, desktops, counters, and shared with friends, neighbors, and families as the memory of the Ojai Studio tour weekend is relived by those who were here October 7th through the 9th, 2023. So thank you again for helping us continue to create and strengthen Ojai as a vibrant art community. So back to the sort of data stuff. Well, not data, but connections and relationships formed with people throughout all of the Ojai Valley and beyond. The reach was as far from San Diego to Seattle and in between, and that might have been those 10,000 postcards that we mailed. More young adults visited studios than ever before. This was amazing. They inspired new conversations about AI and the future. They were refreshing and curious. I will tell you that's exhausting as an artist being on the tour, but so worth it if that's what creates a successful tour. Now, if you didn't go, here's what you missed. In the studios, art education and demonstrations happened. Woodcut printmaking, large charcoal drawing, ceramic techniques on the wheel, monotype printmaking with chincolet, plein air painting, art journaling techniques, handmade paper from recycled prints. Several high school students assisted artists in their studios, helping guide people through the studios, and some doing demonstrations, and all learning about the possibility of a life as an artist. What I learned is this: tour goers can't survive on a studio Cheez-It snack diet. Tour goers tour hopping requires stamina, sustenance becomes a necessity. They all ate somewhere, a restaurant or a grocery store. They had 3 meals a day. The mini maps, definitely a lifesaver. They stayed somewhere, inns, hotels, or Airbnbs, and as you know, they shopped downtown. And they left money here for 3 consecutive days. The tour creates prosperity in our communities and awareness of Ojai as an art center in Southern California. This year is our 40th year, and we thank you again for supporting us in this, with this grant. And a final note. Okay. Good God. A final note, the art of the heart. Teachers in Ventura prompted students to go on the tour and receive extra credit in doing so. The teachers get an A+ right there. In tow were parents and grandparents, supporting and encouraging a new generation of artists. And I know this, and you know this too. Some of them will change the world with art. And to me, that's really exciting and super hopeful. The grant you awarded us made an enormous difference, so thank you.
Thank you. Don't go away. We may have some questions. Would anyone want to try to make her cry more?
I didn't mean to do that, I apologize.
Unless something burning, I was going to say something.
We're happy
Just-
we're happy to have happy tears in this
Yes.
commission.
40 years. Wow. Go ahead.
I
Nigel.
have a question. Is it too short?
Was the tour too short?
Yeah, is 3 days, is it too short?
No, I don't think it is
I mean,
too
after
short.
40
not be
years,
on
I
the tour.
figure you probably got it sorted out. But, I mean, I know I went around a heap of them, and I couldn't even get close. So I only
That's
had
why
a day,
we have,
I had a day spare.
We have a second Saturday tour that goes on once a month, I think is it March through August, where it's by neighborhood, so you can get to them.
Yeah, I'm aware of
And-
that.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if it's beneficial to make it 2 weekends. I don't know.
You mean like
It's-
one weekend, 2 in a row, or one in
Yeah.
the mid? Yeah.
I have no
I
idea.
can bring
Just
that up
throwing
to
it
the
out there.
board.
I'm
I
wondering
will
if that
bring it up
works.
to them.
Because I do know, as a downtown business owner, I certainly benefited from having people around, and as I sit here listening to you and loving the enthusiasm and the amount of effort that you guys put in, that it may behoove local businesses to sponsor an artist during this to help the process as well.
I love that idea.
I'd certainly be willing to do it. So, I mean, you could have every business downtown sponsoring a specific artist and driving people to that location or a specific area. So, just thoughts. That's all. But I don't think that works on one weekend. It would work over 2 weekends.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well, thank you.
Conversation's
I
open
appreciate that,
I was just going to do it.
that input and your creativity with that. I'll
well,
bring that
you
to
can
the
all
board.
ponder it now, right?
Well, I was going to add to that, as the public hears me coughing, it is an exhausting experience being open for 3 days straight. We had Ray and I had over 200 people come through our house and our studio. And you got sick. I got sick. Well, it's an annual thing. But I think having possibly 2 tours a year, or the second Saturday definitely helps. But, you know, this is an incredible organization in our city, and I'm so glad you brought the data of how it affects the city, because it is a commercial boon for everyone here, and it is the livelihood of our artists, and it really makes Ojai, you know, there are no galleries in Ojai, really, you know, that people come, when they come to Ojai, they go, oh, we heard this is an artist community. This tour is what marks us as an artist community. You know. So, thank you, Lucinda.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
Yes, something? Okay. How many are there? How many stops were there?
I think there were 65 this year.
65. I would just want to point out to our council members that are here that there's this map here, and there's 14 stops of the total in the city limits. So our art community is more than, I mean, there's a lot of reasons for that, but I know it's starving artists is not a, is
a
not,
thing.
it's a thing, yeah, yeah. And you can live more creatively sometimes outside the city. So, you know, the impact of the things that the city of Ojai does in different areas goes well beyond, and not in paving maybe or sewers, but in art certainly. That's where, you know, the meat of our artists are. So I think there's more non-artists on Rice Road. I'm sorry, more artists than there are non-artists on Rice Road. I was
You know,
pleased to see that this year.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was going to say, it's also an incredible network of creatives throughout the valley, because we've all met each other through this organization. And so there's 65 artists who were open, but maybe 70 of us who now are great friends and comrades. So it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, it really is.
Thank you very much
You're
for
welcome.
keeping it alive. We're going to go to 6B out of respect for the people that are here. And I will introduce Commissioner Christine to,
Thank you, Commissioner Smitty.
here you go.
So Pam and I are on the City Collection Committee. And if you look throughout City Hall, you'll see that there are a number of works within the city collection. And we are going to be doing a little bit of moving of some of these works. So, for example, at the request of the mayor, Chair West has moved some of these works to other public-facing entities such as Public Works, which will be getting one of these. We're going to begin to reallocate
Can I ask you to give 30 seconds of definitions on city collection, public art, city-owned?
Sure.
It's just
So the city collection is
it's for you, council members.
the collection here within City Hall. It's the two-dimensional works on the wall. Some of those have been will be moved. We're moving one work into the city manager's office, who spends a great deal of time on Zoom, so the world can sort of see that there's art in his office. We're moving some to other offices such as Public Works, other city-facing offices. This
But our city collection is city-owned art that has been accepted into the collection.
That's correct, these two-dimensional works. Then there's another, I know you're trying to get me to this, then
Yes.
there's another sort of universe of art, which is city-owned public art. And those public art sculptural works, for example, that you see throughout the city, come either through a Percent for Art program, which I'll be speaking about in a moment, or by donation or otherwise. So we have kind of two groups of public art and city collection. And what we're talking about now is city collection, some of those works that will move. And Pam and I, in discussing the city collection, Pam had a great idea she'll be talking about in a moment, which was to create a legacy collection within the city collection to honor certain artists within the city. And with that, I will turn it over to Pam for this very exciting moment to, we hope, accept two important works.
If I might just interrupt and say that in talking with staff, the legacy, this just happened, this legacy thing, it needs to sort of be advertised as a future agenda item. So if we can,
Well, I saw that, Smitty, but I don't agree. It's within, it is a collection within the collection. There's nothing that we have to do to agendize it or discuss it or vote on it. It's a determination to have a sub-collection within a collection. And so it is my
You okay with that?
recommendation that we continue.
staff,
We'd be good to move forward with that. The only reason I'd like to see it come back is to put some guidelines around it that the commission could give some input on and adopt in terms of what would be a work of art that would go in the legacy collection
Well, I
versus
think,
not going.
I mean, I hear you and thank you for that, but I think we don't even have overall governing guidelines with respect to the city collection itself, other than merit, worthiness, importance, et cetera, et cetera. And so I think we can take that criteria and apply it equally to this sub-collection.
Okay, I'm hearing you on the overall collection, but what I'm looking at is the sub-collection, how that's defined. And I think that'd be worthy to bring back for discussion.
were you going to talk about that, Pamela?
I think we can address it here and then move on.
Yeah, we can definitely address it, and I could put it together and get concurrence from the full commission.
If you think that's really important, Carl, then we can do that, but in the meantime, let's move on and let's accept it to this, let
But
us
I'm
call
not
it,
talking about the two words
let
yet.
us call it a provisional committee until you manage that, so.
Smitty,
I-
Smitty, if I
yeah.
may, I think probably what Carl's concerned with is what differentiates the legacy commission, the legacy part of it from the regular part of it. Are there different rules that need to be?
I'm gonna ask-
Understandable, but Pam
I'm
is
gonna
going
ask-
to go through that, and then I think we will be squared
Is that
away.
right?
I'm going to ask them to,
Yeah,
Like, for example,
and
the
it sounds
disposal
like
of it,
Pam would
possible
go
disposal of
through
it, and this, that, and the other.
And I could simply write it up from my understanding of what you're about to say, and we could bring it back for concurrence.
Well, I wasn't really prepared to say that, but basically, the legacy aspect of the collection are artists who really dedicated a lot of time to Ojai in service and commitment to the artist community. And I'm going to start with Karen Lewis.
Yeah.
Should I have her come to the
Please,
podium?
yes, please.
Karen, can you come to the podium?
Oh, sure.
Okay. Oh, sorry. Thank you. Okay.
You know, we were working on that 1% for art from anyone who built anything and put up public art. That was my dad and Susan Fink and Susan Amon and I when I was on the Arts Commission
Yes.
millions of years ago.
And congratulations to you for that. It is so important to have a Percent for Art program.
Yeah, we worked on it pretty hard. I mean, It was about 4 years in the making, and it was started in 2000, and we got it done by 2004. But it took a long time. It's not easy to get everyone to agree on anything, I've
What you
noticed.
just saw from a minute, from what you just saw a minute ago, it's all mincemeat, isn't it, legislating?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, Pam.
Okay, so Karen,
Yes.
thank you so much for your painting. I just want to say a couple words about you
Okay.
to the public. So Karen K. Lewis is a revered figure in the Ojai studio artist community, but also in Ojai in general, where she has dedicated decades of active involvement and served as a constant source of inspiration for those fortunate enough to cross paths with you.
Jeepers.
Whether through her impeccably curated attire, her fragrant and expressive brushwork, her remarkable memory and storytelling abilities, to her benevolent and generous nature.
Jeepers.
Karen epitomizes the embodiment of a woman who lives life to the fullest, and we're so thrilled to receive this piece for the city.
I'm so delighted that you chose one.
Yeah.
I think it's
And
great.
Karen has been an art commissioner. I mean, she's served,
Oh,
so many ways.
Yeah, I did for a while.
yeah. Anyhow, thank you on behalf of
You're
the city.
welcome. It's my
Thank
pleasure.
you.
And I've hung my stuff in City Hall. City Hall has been a wonderful supporter of the arts for as long as I've been here, in a smaller way. Now it's getting much more important and, and judicial and all that. But it was always there. It was always there for the artist.
Yeah. And this is Karen's piece called Deck Chairs. It's part, do you want to say something about it?
Well, when we moved from New York, and we returned to Ojai, I began landscape painting because I didn't do that very much in New York. And so I started walking up Foothill and back and forth. And as I got higher and higher, the ground fell away and got lower and lower. And at the edge of the curb, dropping down, was a beautiful deck around a tree. And I think it might have been, Leon's grandmother, her parents' home up on Foothill. But there was these beautiful wrought iron chairs and garden chairs, and I just fell in love with it. And I had been painting tons of chairs in New York because Tuesday night was garbage night, and you could put out all your furniture you wanted to get rid of, and I would pick up and collect chairs. So I had been doing that for years, and showing them in Soho. And suddenly, I was suddenly saying, "Oh, this is a great landscape!" And so I came home with a chair painting. And I did go back a few times and took sketches, and it was done in the studio, but it was inspired by my walks up and down Foothill.
Well, thank you, Karen. We so appreciate you. And-
Well,
and these two pieces,
and Sonny I talked to Sonny, she's so sorry she can't be here. She's not feeling well, but hers is the other, and she's a neighbor, she's way up Foothill.
yeah. I'm going to say something about Sonny, too.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Karen.
Well, I'm just so appreciative of what you're doing. I think it's great.
Thank you, Karen.
So this, unfortunately, we don't have easels to present these on, but the smaller piece here in front of you is by artist Sonny Wright. And since becoming a member of the Ojai studio artist, Sonny, who's hopefully watching at home.
She is. She's on.
Yeah, I'm sure she is, because she told me she would be.
Hi, Sonny.
Hi, Sonny. She's consistently contributed to the exhibitions held at our prestigious venues like the Ojai Art Center, the Ojai Valley Museum, the Beatrice Woods Center for the Arts, the Ventura Museum, and notably she's held leadership positions, vice president and president of the Ojai Studio Artists. Through her strength, determination, and unparalleled proofreading skills, she's an inspirational figure. There's no one better than Sonny if you want something proofread or finding typos. Anyhow, we're thrilled to have her painting in our city collection, and these two paintings are the first of what we're calling our legacy collection, but it's a collection within the collection. And it's going to be of artists that have contributed to our town.
Thank you.
And I would just add, so it isn't lost in this beautiful discussion, these are donations. This is such generosity for artists to contribute in this way to our city. And with that, I'd like to make a motion that we accept these two works into the city collection.
Second? Second? All in favor?
Well, you want discussion first?
Oh, discussion? Is there?
I think it's great.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Let's give
Thank
a
you.
hand for these artists. All right, so now I'm going to come back to public comments.
Oh,
What's going on?
oh, Linda wants to say
Do you have a
something
did you fill out a card, Linda?
No, I didn't, but can I make a comment anyway?
as part of the OSA.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
okay.
Linda's
Thank
part
you.
of the OSA presentation.
So thank you all so much for honoring two of our really amazing members. And I came because I want to make a gift to the collection of the city. I can't remember what year this was, but Karen spearheaded a book about the Ojai studio artists, and Mark Lewis, her son, helped write the text. Carlos Grasso, another Ojai studio artist, did the design. And I want everyone to see this because it's really an amazing testament to the quality of the art and the dedication of Karen, her intelligence, her brilliance, and all that. And so thank you all so much for honoring these, Karen and Sonny, both two amazing ladies.
Also, Elise Pogosky-Harris was my co-editor.
Okay, Elise Pogosky-Harris was the co-editor. So anyway, thank you very much.
Linda. Great, thank you.
Thank you, Linda. Yeah, we'll keep this item open if there's any more gifts.
Beautiful.
Very nice. All right, we have a motion and second, and no discussion. All in favor?
I already voted, but, yeah, we did that.
Did that
Yeah,
already?
Okay,
Okay.
so we have finished
I
this.
thought that was a discussion.
We're at public comment now.
Thank you. Public comments now. Is there anything else in the box?
So this would be public comments on non-agendized items.
Right,
Yes.
right.
Is this everything I have?
Yeah, there were only 2 cards submitted for
Wayne?
public speakers, and there was an email that I distributed to the commission as well that came in prior to 4 p.m.
Okay.
And
Did you
and
want to
OSA
read that email for us?
If I may. OSA guests, you're welcome to remain for the balance of the commission meeting, but at the same time, the OSA business is done. So if you all have dinner plans or other things, you can feel free to remain or to depart as you wish.
Thank you. It's not rude to leave, believe me. I wish I could.
no, we're losing our audience. Thank you.
All right, Wayne wants to talk on 3.
Thank you for coming.
Okay. Let's bring Wayne forward.
Would this would be for non-agendized items? Oh, this was just 3.
Well,
is
we're already
public
at
comment.
3, so, yeah, because we moved things around. Thank you, Wayne. You know the drill. You got 3 minutes?
Of course.
Someone run the clock.
Wayne Maynard, I'm a resident of the city of Ojai. I sent in a comment earlier this afternoon, and I just need to make a correction to that, in the middle of my page, I stated the revised minutes for the March 16th meeting were not on the city website, and since then I actually found them. It was my mistake, I apologize. Once again, I want to express my concern over the number of canceled scheduled meetings this commission has had. With regards to tonight's agenda, item number 9, the staff liaison report, I believe that some of those items should be on the agenda as discussion items to allow public comment, but because they're not, I will make my comments now. Item 9C for the CAPA appointment update. The city municipal code states that the CAPA appointments are made by the Arts Commission. Currently, it shows the chair and vice chair have been self-appointed and not appointed by the commission as a whole. Please agendize the appointments to the CAPA for the Arts Commission approval. Item 9D, please clarify on the reduction of the Public Arts Fund from $120,000, which is the last number I remember, to the current $62,000. Is there an error, or has there been expenses that haven't been itemized? With regards to the El Roblar Public Art application, I have concerns about the visibility of the artwork from the public right-of-way as required by the municipal code. It appears to be minimally or at best not visible at all from the sidewalk or street due to the distance and the perpendicular alignment of the artwork. Also, I'm concerned that the artwork is more of an architectural feature of the building design being paid for by the use of what could be public art funds. I hope that CAPA can do an initial evaluation of the proposed concept early in the design process, because this is one of the very few large projects that we have in town which can provide a significant piece of art in a prominent location. In closing, well, actually I've got one more thing. The previous action taken, it's just process. You didn't open it up for public comment. I found from last November, there's a whole process for the City of Art donation and loan procedures. I don't know if that was followed. There was nothing in the agenda about it. So it's just the way you guys are doing business, kind of, they don't understand sometimes. But in closing, the last thing is the Arts Commission is still working off of a 5-year plan that has been developed but never presented to the public. And I'd like you to correct that error as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Wayne. There was some,
Let's present the 5-year plan if there's concern.
yeah, no, those were great. Those are great. Thank you. Carl, you had something online? I think it was a question, maybe I can just paraphrase it and you tell me if I'm wrong. There was a question about, was it Cura and how that was we'll answer. The question was, does that come out of the general city budget or the Arts Commission budget? And I think that will get addressed during this meeting. But does that cover that question?
But the answer would be it's actually both. It's the Arts Commission program budget within the overall
Yes.
city budget.
Yeah, I was going to kind of say that, again, and since we have council here, we serve at the pleasure of council, and, the whole, the way government works is the people are sovereign, and the council are the elected representatives. Commissions, in this case, the Arts Commission, we serve at your pleasure for expertise in both subject matter or government matters, or to help you make the decisions for the people. And so, but all the money is the people's money, and we're here to guide you as you have asked us to. And so that's just sort of the overall kind of summary of what a commission does. I'm going to go on to Ray because the next item on the agenda is item A. So Ray Powers has a public comment agenda item. I assume you're talking about 6A.
Yes.
Yes,
I thought we're only doing comments on things that aren't on the agenda.
but now we're here.
But
Oh,
we haven't accepted the minutes, and we haven't,
Ah.
and have you done all the public comments?
So you just want to close the public comment period
Yeah.
for non-agenda item?
Comments and then turn to the minutes,
Okay.
I think.
So we're not
Sorry,
calling
Ray,
this a
get 'em all.
public comment? So, sorry, Ray. All right.
Oh, it's 6A.
I moved things around. Yeah, okay.
Nice try there, Ray.
Consent items.
Okay, he looked hungry. I was trying to get him to get out of here.
It all goes to the overall daily total.
Thank you.
We want to close.
Closing public comments, thank you. Consent items are minutes, and I reviewed these with staff, and we have made a lot of spelling corrections, including your name, Nigel. So if anyone has anything material
I
other
have-
than the spelling stuff, let me know.
I have one
Staff will.
thing, material. Under 6, page 2 of 3, the second bullet says that I discussed Cura Arts for the conversation assessment proposal. That should be conservation assessment. And while I always think conversation should be assessed and addressed, in this case, what we're looking at is conservation.
Did you find that? You were pointing to my paper, Carl.
Got it.
I think you found that
Yeah,
one.
I just noted.
Oh, okay, I thought you found that one. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, the minutes were updated, but the ones on the
didn't get
website,
the
even though they were posted,
This is a,
yeah, we're still not showing, but the,
this may be updated, and
No,
that's
this
not,
is,
it's still
oh,
there.
so
Anyway.
yeah, that's correct, I noted.
All right.
want to make a motion. I move that we
Did
adopt.
anybody else have anything there too? Motion to adopt, second? All in favor? Aye?
Aye.
All right. Let's move on to, now are we there at 6? Okay. Ray. Okay, this item is a public art jury for the review of a mural application for, what's it called? Camp Ojai.
No, I don't think that's what he wants to comment on.
Summer camp. Summer camp.
This is not what Ray wants.
Oh, it's not what Ray wants? What did you want, Ray?
I
You
wanted
just
to-
had A. I assumed it was 6A.
I don't have the agenda. It had to do with grants. It's a public comment on the grants.
And grants?
Okay.
Okay,
It's
that's
just
more
a
of a
general public comment.
That's a general.
Okay,
Yeah.
so Smitty is real.
So I was right. No, please go ahead, Ray. You got 3 minutes.
So I also want to thank you for the grant to the OSA. And I want to thank OSA because this was the first year, as far as I know, that they opened up to non-OSA members. So there were 5 or 6 of us artists that were part of the tour that paid a little fee. We don't have the whole annual fee that OSA members pay, but we paid a little fee. Most of us were significant others of another artist on the tour. So that enabled us to be on the tour as well. Having it 2 weekends in a row, oh my. Maybe another time of year, but 2 weekends in a row would be really, really tiring. It's a lot. The grants. I went to fill out a grant application. I've been, listening for several months now, your conversations about the grant and the grant process and the application. I remember one time, there was strong support in getting an application online and doing away with hard copies. And then there was a long discussion about simplifying the grant process and the grant application. When I went to look at it, it looked pretty much like the same as it always was, because I've applied for 4 or 5 over the years. And I also noticed there were some typos. Actually, it was gibberish where it said number of copies. There was no number there. It was a bunch of symbols. And then where the email was supposed to be for more information, it was just a bunch of symbols. And that showed up a couple other places as well. So I haven't filled it out yet, but I do want to thank you for extending it to the 31st. That's awesome. That's really helpful. And I'll go ahead and do it, but I'm unclear of how many copies to make because there's information missing. That's all I have to say.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ray.
Can Valerie comment? Oh,
Sure, if you like.
No, we're not allowed to
Right.
respond, right?
Well, that's
We're gonna-
down A because the grants
It's not an item there, too, so
Our liaison says.
we'll be able to help you. You're right.
Okay.
You're
It's
right.
entirely up to Smitty as to whether you want to do that or not.
You're right. We're embarrassed about that, and it's being remedied. And yes, we have started, we actually have a draft of an online application already finished. And we're just, that was a screw up, and we look forward to your application.
So in the meantime, do I do just 1 copy?
That would be fine. You're not going to get penalized because you get the number wrong. But we could take that up directly with staff too, or something on the side when you bring them over here. Just deliver them here to the staff.
Okay, great.
We'll see them after they're all in, so. Okay, thank you, Ray. Now, I'm going to move along to public jury, mural jury. I'm going to have
Okay,
Christine
okay.
lead this part.
Great, thank you. So we are now on 6A on the agenda. And I thought it would be valuable before we address the mural jury to take just a moment and describe the 2 types of public art. I earlier described at Smitty's prodding the different kinds of art, the city collection, which is here, and some of the public art that's sort of out in our world. But what I'd like to address now is the processes. So the ordinances provide that there's something called the Public Art Program. That's commonly known as the, everywhere else, and also here in Ojai, as the Percent for Art Program. And it is 2% of building or renovation costs, more specifically defined in the ordinance, 2% over up to $1 million, and 1% $1 million and thereafter. This fund is segregated for public art, and it is administered under and through CAPA, which is the Committee to Approve Public Art. And CAPA is already constituted. Thank you, though, Wayne, for your comments. If we need to publicize it, we certainly can. The CAPA members are Smitty West as the chair, me as the chair of the Public Arts Committee, two public members, Barbara Hirsch, a longstanding member of CAPA, and Susan Stemsmuller-Amend, a former commissioner, and the fifth member is Jamie Bennett as a representative of the Planning Commission, and here with us this evening. That is CAPA. We do have a CAPA application, which Carl is going to be addressing later in the meeting. The second universe of art, which is to be addressed in 6A, is under the mural ordinance. And the mural ordinance takes a much lighter touch and a much lighter review of public art. And the reason is because these murals are private commissions on private property where the review by the quote, mural jury is simply to look at the aesthetics, the suitability, the durability, etc., of the works themselves. And I'm going through this analysis because there seems to be a great deal of confusion, even within the city administration itself, about the distinctions between these. So, for example, if there's a percent for art project that calls itself a mural, that doesn't transform it into something that's governed by the mural ordinance. It is still a percent for art program. And if there is a mural that calls itself a painting, a banner, a wraparound, anything else that could be constituted on private property for a private purpose in an outdoor context, that is still under the mural ordinance. So with that background, let me now proceed to the mural ordinance itself. We do have an application from Summer Camp, which, as you may know, is the former gas station, which is sort of right near the 33, right near Vaughn's. It's Michael's frame shop and also sort of general shop. Summer Camp, lovely, lovely place. And they have provided an application to put up a mural by the artist Christopher Noxon, and it's been submitted, and we are now calling a jury. I want to sort of back up and remind our commissioners that in prior meetings, I've asked you all for suggestions of possible jurors for this jury, making certain that you have asked them in advance so that there aren't any surprises, because those of you who will recall, our last mural jury was not this commission's finest moment. So we have constituted a new jury that I'd like to bring before you, and the categories of jurors are an Arts Commission representative, a Planning or Historic Preservation Commission representative, an artist, two community representatives, and the building owner or a representative of the building owner. And I have spoken with a number of people in our community, and I am bringing forth to you this recommendation. For the Arts Commission, the chair has recommended that it be Commissioner Grau. The Planning Commission has nominated, or has designated rather, Jamie Bennett, Commissioner Jamie Bennett. The artist is Gary Lang. Gary Lang is an internationally known artist of the highest stature. He, a few years ago, won the prestigious Greenberger Award and is a consummate, important artist. I should note also for the artist representative that Gary is not a member of OSA, and the artist Chris Noxon is a member of OSA, and it just seemed to be parity to not have that person within the organization. The two arts professionals, one is Cassandra Jones, who, while an artist herself, she also heads the Taft Artist Residency, and for that reason serves an important arts professional role. The second is Elizabeth Herring, also an artist, a photographer herself, an advanced degree from Cal Arts, and she runs a small, very interesting emerging artist gallery on Matilaha. So Cassandra and Elizabeth are the two arts professionals. The community member was recommended by Chair West, and that is Julie Grist. And finally, the representative of the building owner is Michael Graves, the owner of Summer Camp. So he will be there as a member of the jury speaking to this. And that is my slate for the jury, and what happens next? Do we move and open discussion, or?
It's up- I'll leave
Yeah,
that up
if
to
someone
you.
can,
I'll leave that to
I
you.
can't move.
I'm-
Pam, would you like to move that we accept the jury?
Do we
Well,
need,
let me just sort of say in principle, from a very high level, our object with things like the mural jury and Kappa is that our investments in art, in our community, are being made by our business and property owners, well, our business owners that, through our percent for the arts program. And we want it to be helpful, transparent, efficient. Our last jury that we had, I would not say it was an unsuccessful jury, it was the process, though, by which we got to that. The jury was very efficient and moved quickly through the thing. So I just,
it was not a finds moment.
yeah, right. But we're very proud of that jury and the job that they did. So in general, I want our community business people to see that the Arts Commission is there to help them in this one small little part of the planning commission approval, and we're not going to hold things up. But the help we're going to get with these professionals is going to move it ahead. So we're thinking about you guys.
Absolutely, and that's one of the reasons we're moving so swiftly. And I should add a note, and I guess that's for you, Carl. Michael agreed, I asked him if he would be willing to hold it at summer camp itself, which would be great both for the jury as well as for the public, and he said he'd be pleased to. I think it means we would need folding chairs or that sort of thing. I don't think we would need much more, but it would be lovely to hold it at the venue. So I think we can work together to make that happen. Does someone want to move so we can?
Well, actually, on item 6A, just for process, it's been presented. So it'd be appropriate to open it for any public comment, if there's any. And then the commission can ask any questions of staff, which I doubt they'll have any of staff.
There was no
and then
public
discussion.
comment, right? There was nothing.
Well, that was on non-agendized items.
Oh, okay. Well, is there anything in the box on it?
We don't have any online,
Okay. I don't have
but
that.
you'd want to open it for public comments, though.
Public comments?
Susan, you don't even have to be public. You could speak whenever you want.
No, she's
Oh,
public
no,
now.
no, no, that's
She's
not-
public now. 'Cause
Yeah.
her term's up, right, as a liaison.
No, well, I'm going to be here anyway, because I'm a co-liaison, because you didn't meet last time. Okay, so, all right, for the audience, the public who's watching, I'm Susan Francina, and I love murals, but I remember a time when the city council didn't want any murals on our walls, and they turned down, some of you might remember Marty Noble or Gottesman, fabulous artist. She moved to Santa Barbara. She was going to do a mural at the site of Joe's Quick Stop, which is a perfect place for a mural. And so maybe there'll be another opportunity in the future. So anyway, as I was listening to what you were saying, but I couldn't quite follow everything that you were saying about where is this, the mural, I know the location. Is this mural on the outside of the building?
Yes, the mural ordinance governs only exteriors.
Okay.
So it's on the outside.
I should know that, I worked on that, so but I can't remember.
So you
Yeah.
know the building.
Yeah.
So it's the side, well, let's see, Carl, we have, it's in the application, there should be, a rendering that would show us.
What's okay? Go on, Susan, please.
Yeah, but anyways,
We don't,
so-
we
Oh,
don't
no,
have a
that's all.
picture of
It's
I
it.
just
somewhere on
wanted
the
to know
exterior.
if it was on, that was the main thing I wanted to know. So it'll be visible for the public, it's an
Abs-
exterior.
Absolutely,
here.
yes, yes.
Yeah, that's all. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
I'm
Susan.
really happy to hear that.
While you're
But
here,
Sousa-
Sousa,
Okay.
But Susan, I think that's a really good clarification because the mural ordinance only relates to exteriors. And that's part of the reason, and private, and that's part of the reason that the review is somewhat narrow, but it's, you know, it addresses aesthetics, it addresses durability, but it's exterior only.
Okay,
it
thank you.
involves the community as part of the decision, as the approval process, and it's not a political decision. We don't make that decision here. We were talking about 2% for the arts. That's on any construction project. It might be a floating number, but is it $600,000 or something over that? That a business owner can choose to either donate to our public art fund or to hire an artist themselves.
Yes,
You're familiar
yeah,
with that?
yeah.
What you may not have considered is city construction projects, whether they should be
City construction.
consider.
Well, but Smitty, the ordinance addresses all of this. I'm not sure we want to dig into the criteria.
Is it in the
Yes,
ordinance?
it's, trust me, we'll
Yeah,
look at it
it's
again.
it's a can of
Yes.
worms, and we've dealt with this before, actually.
No, I think you should stop talking. about
Okay.
it.
I think I have a
I'll-
second.
I'll make a
and
motion for that.
Unanimous decision. Thank you. I'm going to give her something hard to work on, though, so. Yes, you may. Ray Powers, 3 minutes.
On murals, right?
Yes, absolutely. And I'll take the can of worms and go fishing. Just a suggestion for the jury to keep in mind, given my experience with the big mural on the preschool, because that's a really old building, and the summer camp gas station is a really old building. So if you recall, or if you didn't know, we painted that mural on dye-bond panels. It's aluminum with some poly stuff in the middle, and we bolted that to the side of the building. So if the building ever has to come down, we can actually move those 9 panels and rebuild the mural at another location or at the same location on a new building. And it also adhered the graffiti coat really well on those dye-bond panels. So I just want to mention that, just because of the age of the building.
Thank you, Ray. No other public comments? Can we just move on, or?
Well, you want to move so we can have a discussion.
Oh, okay, this will be voted on, is that right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So, a motion to accept,
If there's any,
Salary moving?
are you moving, Valerie, or are you
I'd like to make
discussing?
I would like to make a motion to accept the recommended jurors for the mural, mural public art jury.
The names that were read
Yeah, I'll second it.
by, okay, discussion.
Discussion, anyone?
Someone asked me, when I asked Julie, she asked, how much work is it, that sort of thing. I think last time they met once or twice.
No, this will be a one-time, the criteria is in the ordinance.
Yes.
That makes it very easy. We will supply the criteria to the jurors. Carl and I will work together to make certain that they have the actual criteria. The jurors will assemble. If Carl can make it work at summer camp, that's great. If not, we'll find an alternate location, perhaps here. We'll try to make it as swift as possible. I know that's your instruction, to make certain that we are responsive to the business community. All of the jurors have agreed to be available. They'll all be around. And so I think we can make this happen very quickly, very smoothly, and then Christopher, and painlessly, and then Christopher can get on to producing his mural.
Beautiful.
Smitty, if I
Thank you.
may, I think there may be an issue with holding a meeting down there because of public access on television, perhaps.
Well,
We'd have to stream it or something.
Well, I don't
No?
think we need it to be, I mean, it's not going to be like, the Iran-Contra hearings or something. It's going to, I mean, as long as it's available to the public, we know this from prior meetings, we do not have to make it video available, as long as it's available somehow and open to the public. And certainly that's how we did it last time. There wasn't a video of the jury. So we
ad
will.
hoc committees are
will-
also,
Oh, you okay
Yeah,
with that?
you can hold a special meeting off location just as long as it's noticed at both
There
City
you go.
Hall
As long as
it's
and
noticed
and the
and-
That's
location.
that taken care of.
And that's the reason we want that number of chairs, because we would love the public to be a part of it. When the automotive place had its jury, there were a number of members of the public, and that was terrific. We would encourage that same thing
Nice.
here.
nice. Let's-
Yeah, I
let's-
think it's a fabulous jury. Really, really, really good job on
Let's advertise it
doing
and
those people.
announce it. And
Let's communicate that, shall we?
May I? I looked up the address online just to Google it, and what came up were photos. And there was, one photo was actually a mural on the side of the wall. It was white with black sketched landscape and cactus and things on it. And so I was like, oh, is this mural already done? And then or is it, they're just whiting that out and they're starting over from scratch?
It's not done. I don't know what that is, but
Some sort of existing design, but
Ah.
this is something new.
yeah, something new.
Oh,
Maybe it
okay.
was already.
And what I noticed is that the design that's up there now, the old design, didn't incorporate into the design architectural elements. And one of them is a window. And actually, out of the whole design, the window stood out more than the design itself. So with the jury taking into consideration, there's also pipes. It could, just for them to take into consideration the architectural elements incorporated within the design.
You're in charge of that, right?
If it's within the criteria of the ordinance, absolutely,
And it has to come back to us to approve anyway.
precisely.
Right.
So it looks like we have, am I correct? You want to call?
All in
for a vote, I
favor?
think? Aye. We have a jury.
Unanimous?
Thank you. I will
Thank you.
noti-
Thank
I
you,
will-
Michael, and good luck. Thank you for,
I will
Making-
notify the jurors tomorrow. And Carl, does your office schedule this?
Yeah, we'd be more than happy to reach out and see what time and date works best for the group,
Great,
and then
great.
get that noticed.
And can you jump on that tomorrow?
Could jump on that next week. Tomorrow might be a little challenging.
Monday?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, I'll get you the names and
Carl, can I
contact
ask you just a
information.
process question as well? Do you need a verbal yes or no, or is a raising hands acceptable?
With respect to,
A vote that we just took? Any vote that we take?
I'd prefer an aye for the
think so.
verbal audio, but
Smitty,
we do have video of this as well.
I think it was
Smitty,
unanimous.
it was. I think, Smitty,
let
we
the
should
record
probably,
reflect it was unanimous.
But no, we have
I think we
video,
should
so
all say
that's fine.
I do.
I think we're good, Nigel.
All right.
Let's move along.
Okay, well, terrific. Thank you all.
Thank you. We'll go down, just any updates? You're first, Christine.
Well, I've certainly spoken a lot at this meeting, so I don't think you want any more updates from me. Thank you.
Okay, Nigel, you got anything?
I do not.
Okay, Valerie?
For my update, I really would like to thank Carl and city staff and everyone behind that it took to extend the grant application date and also the promotion for the extended date, because it sounds like that we got more grants on it, and Carl is going to give his report on the grants, and so he knows a lot more what's going on with that. And in regards to Ray, before when you got up and talked about that stuff, that has been going on since day one. But what it is for me, what I notice, it's when I look it up, the grant application on my iPhone or my iPad, that if you go to a regular computer, and it came up like that too. And the part that's gibberish, Carl, those are all the things that get edited each year. So the date changes. We had so many city liaisons, so the email address were changing. So you'll just see like those little stars. And,
Because I remember it used to be 12 copies or something. I thought that was silly, you know.
so, but we're doing we have been doing the six hard copies, or just do it online. And then the one other thing that had come up is with the online application, when people submit the hard copy, we request CDs or hard copy photos. But when they're online, we'll just need to update the application that they can provide a digital link, like to a YouTube video or to a link to their website for the artist materials about their project. Because then you can't upload a CD.
Yeah, and just because I don't think you're aware of this, Valerie, but Carl worked on, staff here worked on an online application and came out with the first draft, and I was really pleased how they responded to that and did something. But the glaring error, and the reason I haven't shared it yet, is that it cannot yet. And picture an artist coming to do the application, and then there's an item missing, and they go away and come back, and they have to start from scratch again. We don't want, we don't want to do that to our artist community. So that's just to give you an example. That's kind of where we are. But staff has been responsive, and we hope next year it'll be an online process, and no trees have to die.
I think this is, if I may,
Let's see if Valerie's done. Are you done there, Valerie? Okay.
this is a function of the state that the city is in general terms with regard to staffing. It's nobody's fault. It's that they're being pulled in a million different ways. And on the totem pole of things that have to be done that are urgent, this isn't one of them. And I understand that, although we all want it done, and we desperately want a situation whereby you can just complete the application online, hit the send button, and you're all good. That's where we're headed for. That's where we've been headed for a long time. But we've been running over the past year and a half into this staffing issue. And again, they're working like Trojans over there. You really are doing an amazing job. But it's going to be a while. So print one copy out, bring it in, and we'll deal with the rest as it goes down the road. That's my advice to you. Do it tomorrow.
Well, the fewer copies, the more money you get. How's that? Pamela, please, education.
I actually have an update. So July 13th, artist Elaine Unsicker gave a wonderful enrichment seminar at the Ojai Valley Museum, sponsored by the Arts Commission in the city of Ojai. And it was taking your art on the road, art fairs and art festivals. And we had 23 people attend, and everyone really loved it. We have not done any since then, but I have 3 facilitators, incredible people that I recently met, and Christine Steiner. Christine Steiner's going to do one on copyright law for artists.
That's the next
next
one, copyright and contracts.
And
And
we need
we're
the
going to
date,
set the
yes.
date for that, so I
You're
am
gonna set the dates?
at your disposal.
Okay, so Christine's next, and then following that, I have a man named Michael O'Connor from Los Angeles. He's a professional storyteller coach, and he's going to help our creatives learn how to give that all-important elevator speech, how to get the essence of who you are and what you do down to less than a minute. And then I have a woman named Nicole Slater, who's a publicist who deals with, she's a specialist in social media, and she's amazing. I mean, I just came from a workshop where she was a facilitator, and I thought, we need you. So I've got 3 terrific people lined up, and we're just focusing on dates, and I guess, I don't know if I need approval from the city or from you, but.
Beautiful. This is part of our 5-year plan,
Yeah.
our art seminar, what do you call them?
Enrichment seminars.
Enrichment seminars for art
Creative.
professionals.
But it's not just for artists, it's for any, musicians, writers, and the general public. Everyone's invited, and I've got a couple under my belt now, so I know what to expect, and I think I'll be better at promoting them so more people know about them.
Right. I know we got our grant applications from people that attended your grant education seminar, so that's beautiful.
Yeah,
That's
that was
beautiful.
good.
People complain there's no money, but
Yeah, well,
there is money, but you have to know
we
how.
also have to teach people to look outside of Ojai, and that's what that grant workshop was for, is to let people, let our artists know that there's a lot of grant money out there, and they need to go beyond the city to get it. So I think another seminar on that will be important down the road as well, to keep focusing on how to expand beyond the
city
Beautiful.
borders.
Beautiful. Okay, future agenda items, is there anything? I'm sorry.
Chair West, do you have anything
Oh.
to comment on with respect to commission health, technology, and strategic planning?
Nothing, no, I don't.
I think we already voted
Not
to
that I
muzzle
haven't
him
done
anyway.
anything, but
We already voted to muzzle him anyway.
yes, that's right. I'm afraid I'll get slapped again or something. Yeah, lots of stuff happening. I'm just pleased that, yeah, and maybe to clarify on the strategic planning, I think we had a public comment on that. Our strategic plan is something we're required by city council. Not our 5-year plan is one of the very few things you require us to do, and we hadn't done that in a while, and we did one this year, and we did it in a new way, a collaborative way, and came up with a plan. Now, from that plan came a budget request, and so that's what we actually, even though I came to council and talked about our plan and stuff like that, but really the decision is the people's money and whether that's spent, and it's almost all grants and education this year with some with some housekeeping things that we had to do as well. So we're sort of driven by our budget. We all understand the plan, but we're driven by the budget. You guys didn't approve all our little plan things. That's too granular and all. It's just a little bit of nuance that maybe explain why, the plan. We were actually told that this living, breathing document that is our plan and shows things as we move along. That I was told by earlier manager, that couldn't really be a legal thing because it could be changed, over time and that sort of thing. But it's a guidance and it's a report that we gave you, the pretty pictures that we gave you guys. But the budget is really at the heart of where you hold our feet to the fire. So I'm going to.
Can I just add to that those meetings were noticed appropriately and they were all open to the public as required by council as well.
Yeah.
Smitty, Valerie wants to say.
Yes, Valerie.
For future agenda items,
Yes.
we're still on that?
Yeah, we just got there.
I would greatly appreciate for the transparency and just for documentation, to have arts education submit proposals of the workshops for us to review and to approve, written. So I would add that to the agenda.
Are you
And
getting
then-
these?
Is that
Carl?
is that an agenda item? Is that
Well,
required?
We'll collect them. We'll certainly collect them. Carl,
You
are you
mean,
making a note of this?
Pam's enrichment seminars? You want written proposals on those rather than giving her the discretion to run those as she sees fit?
Well, then I feel that if we're going to have her run those as she sees fit, that we should have that as an agenda item and discuss that and approve that.
But she just reported on it. Did you have something to say with respect to a social media person or contracts and copyright? I mean, she's giving us all of the information about these that she's running with in a really beautiful and professional way. I don't understand why
I think
we want.
we'll collect Valerie's suggested
yeah.
agenda item and review it.
Okay, and,
We're just collecting them at this point.
right, just
Not
for
gonna deal with it right now.
I would, for future meetings, I really appreciate transparency and documentation. If we could possibly, for the future agenda items as an attachment, it could be in the staff report, the Cure Arts list of the exterior city public art that they're going to be doing condition report on. We still haven't seen that updated list. And and I think what happened earlier in the meeting with the donation of the art, and I thought that we had a process for art donations. So I feel like we need to have a discussion on the process and procedure for art donations.
Okay,
Just
Carl,
to
you
be
got that?
clear, there is a process if work is coming over the transom, for example. So someone says, I want to donate to the city, and the city isn't sure whether we want to take something because of quality or availability of space or whatever it might be. In this case, we actively solicited from 2 significant members of the public, which means that we did not have to follow that process that is in place as essentially a winnowing application process. It was a whole different thing.
I would like just to record Valerie's comments and requests, and we'll review these, just stick them on the agenda. We're sort of making it a discussion here right now. And we'll either, we'll address whether it will be agenda item or we'll get to the
Yeah, because
information some other way.
I personally would have preferred,
Yeah, you said we will.
Well, the way we, as chair, I can set an agenda.
So you mean you and Carl will talk?
Yeah,
about- Okay.
yeah.
And then we
I'm
get
asking
back-
Carl to collect the suggested future agenda items. We got one from the public as well, too. No, that's cool, Valerie. Good?
yeah, just for myself, when I got the minutes and the attachments, I felt like we were like taking in these artists just based on their name. And I like paper, I like documentation, and so I was expecting to see
We're good, we got
the
it.
painting name,
We got it. We'll-
just,
I don't want to discuss it now. I don't want to discuss it now. This is for future agenda items, so, yes, thank you. You have any other, Nigel has one?
We definitely need to look at the awards situation
We,
as a group. This isn't the royal we.
if I check the
So-
5-year plan,
Yeah, we definitely.
oh, it's under communication, look at that.
Well, what are the chances that I'd bring that up then? We definitely need to have a look at it as to see whether we're going to do it or just
Can
brush
I
it
ask
off.
you there's 2, Hope Fraser and that other one. Can you bring one to the next meeting?
How about I bring you a list of potentials?
Mhm.
And we
Or-
can discuss
or-
it, and then you can add other ones to it, and we'll figure it out from there.
So put
Or the conversation-
community awards.
Well, the conversation can simply be whether we should, given the situation, they should even consider
Sure,
giving awards out.
Sure, but let's put awards down as a future agenda.
I would
item.
prefer the discussion of the latter rather than the former, to bring people to a public committee and have us yay or nay. I mean, I'd rather we discuss in principle whether it's going to happen, and then if so, if you chair that committee, that you would winnow those numbers for us so that we don't have an embarrassing situation.
Sure, sure,
Absolutely.
absolutely.
problem.
But again, agenda item, and we'll take care of that.
Like,
Let me see if Nigel has any other agenda items. That's good, Pamela?
I would just like to make a comment of what's been said here, because,
About,
well, the last few things,
'cause I was going to make, I don't know if it goes now or it'll go into your commissioner comments at the end.
okay, well, it's just, Valerie mentioned transparency, and that's a big buzzword for me at the moment, because we see it at city council, and everyone's getting crazy about transparency. One of the things I feel like we did with the 5-year plan was we energized the individual commissioners to go out and get things done. And it's not that I don't want everyone to know what I'm doing. I mean, I'm totally happy to write a report about everybody who I'm considering, but I like the idea that we've been fluid about making things happen and getting things done. And I personally like that. The announcement I made tonight about the people I'm considering bringing in to do these workshops, when you say I'd like a written report presented and us voting on it, it just kind of feels like, like 3 meetings from now, maybe we'll agree on something. And I like the fluidity of how I was
I
able
just
to
don't want,
get
let's not discuss that now. We
Okay.
collected her comments. Let's be respectful that we got her comment.
Okay,
You have a future agenda item?
Okay,
You have a future agenda item.
okay.
Do you have any future agenda items you want to bring up?
That's it.
We'll look forward to hearing it.
I'm fluid.
I'm going to move on. Christine?
Yeah, I mean, I will, of course, report on the public jury. That will come back to you.
We'll put that on the agenda. We don't, this is sort of for things that I might have missed, Okay, we're going to move on to staff report. Welcome, Carl, and
All right, pleased
Turn
to
on your
be
microphone.
here. So my green light is on, so I did that correctly for once.
Next time, don't wear a tie. This is the Arts Commission. Okay.
It's old habits.
Here, purple.
Old habits die hard. So first, thank you to the commission for all your assistance. Obviously, myself being new with the city of Ojai, I've leaned heavily on you for much guidance and some historical perspective on the programs of the commission. You guys have been very giving of your time, so thank you for that and being so responsive. Some of the items I have on here are questions that I either got from community members or commissioners. So I just want to give you an update so we're all on the same page. The first is on the commission's arts grant program for the current fiscal year. So as you all know, the deadline has been extended to Tuesday, October 31st by 4 p.m. We're accepting both applications at City Hall. One copy would suffice. And we also are accepting them online. We have successfully received one online. Further down the road, the thought, when I was speaking with Chair West about it, is not only would we be able to receive them online, but the committee be able to review them online. So maybe moving away from the paper process and having a fully electronic one. So right now you can both attach things, and in the body of it you could put, if there's a YouTube video or some other content you'd like to put, we could receive that. There definitely have been some glitches. I'm certainly not a tech person, but both James Hahn and James Ranger that do our IT have addressed the issues as I've become aware of them, and they've been quite responsive. So I thank the Jameses for their work on that. So the timeline is before you tonight of what the plan is. Obviously, we're closing on the 31st. The committee will convene and review the submissions. And the total budgeted amount for the current fiscal year is an amount up to $29,850 to be awarded. So that's the update on the grants program. A second one I received a number of questions on.
My only comment on the grant would be, I'm sure you've collected my comment that being able to save and return, I think is going to be
a big deal.
for any applicant for any type of grant with this city. We hope that our online program will be something that the city uses. Ends up, it's kind of baked into the software that you're using here already. So to build these forms. And
Yeah,
so, but we need our public to be able to
Correct.
save and come back, with their 501c letter or whatever it is.
The hope is that a user could build out a profile that they could basically save their work, but even in future years, if they were to submit, next fiscal year, their basic information would be saved in the profile.
I don't want to go into too much on the actual content of what the application looks like until I know we can do that, because that's a lot. That's a wag.
Yeah, so we'll get there. The Kura Arts assessment, something that I received a few questions on, more with respect to timing of when it will happen. I contacted the principal of the company, and they did receive the city's down payment of $500. They're going to be working with someone from the LA Art Lab. The principal is out of the country right now, but will be returning, I believe, in early November. And they're going to probably try to schedule this in December, pending that the weather works. And they feel this is something they could probably do in 10 days or less. So it'll be fairly quick once it's done. So that's the update on
For
the
our council
conversations I
members,
had
our
there.
Kura project is our assessment of our public art
Sure.
to determine what shape it's in, what does it require for maintenance, and perhaps insurance. This was something important. James suggested we put it into the Arts Commission budget, but it's a city expense to let's figure out what we have and what it needs. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that'd be helpful, because I know Public Works on some things like the wheel at the skate park would be helpful if they could program the maintenance needed there. Capital appointment update. So we talked quite a bit tonight about the Kappa group, but this update was just that the Planning Commission, who did have a vacancy on the 5-member body, appointed Jamie Bennett at one of their recent meetings, so that's the new representative to the Kappa group. that item has been updated, so the printed copy in your packet is accurate. All right, moving along to item D, so this is the commission budget report. This came up during public comment, and the attached sheet isn't meant to be the budget. It's not actually a budget, it's the fund balance of where the group started the year. So the current, or fiscal year in the city it runs July 1st through June 30th. So currently, this would have been last fiscal year's fund balance at the end of the year. So going into this fiscal year that started July 1st, 2023, the fund balance for this program would have been the $62,000. That's not meant to be a
Thank you.
budget
And
number.
Valerie, thanks for pushing us on that to make sure we have that updated.
Can I ask a question, or go ahead?
Yeah, I'll take questions at the end. And then this was just an informational piece, item E. This is something that will go before CAPA, but this is the public art requirement submitted by the El Roblar Hotel, which consists of a mural. So it may not have printed out the best, but just wanted to give you, this is more of a heads up of what they've submitted and what they're considering. And obviously, this will be going forward fairly soon to the CAPA group. The only delay was not having the planning commissioner in place, but they're definitely eager to meet and get the process started over there.
Christine has a question.
Carl, yeah, I have a question. In reviewing the packet, I saw the artist commission agreement, which I do as a regular part of my business and have done for about 40 years. And so I have some questions, and that is, do we know who provided this agreement and whether the city attorney had the opportunity to review?
This is an agreement between the developer and the artist. The city's not a party
Precisely,
to the
and
agreement.
that hits on the head my concern, and that is that the agreement provides that El Roblar, quote, owns, unquote, the work. That's in page 2 of 7, section 6 writes that El Roblar will own the work. But in fact, this is a percent for art program, and the city owns the work. The second concern I have is that they are also taking copyright, which is contrary to all best practices in the public art field. The artist keeps the copyright and gives a license to the building owner for general, typically non-commercial purposes, but some commercial purposes. So that was a bit troubling. And then they include the work for hire language, and it's never the case under a public art commission that it's considered a work made for hire because it's an independent creative work of an artist. So for all those reasons, it's troubling in nature, and I don't know the answer to, and I only saw it today, but I don't know the answer to how we go back and have that corrected, but certainly it's the city's purview over this agreement.
Yeah, I can raise the concerns with our city attorney. I just don't know how much purview the city has in the private agreement between the two parties.
Well,
can
let's you and
but
I
I can-
offline go back and look at the ordinance and figure out how we can circle back to El Roblar and have that corrected so the city's interests are protected in the agreement.
Okay.
And
To
maybe our
the,
city manager can help us.
to the extent
work
we
through that.
can, yeah, I'd be
Yeah.
happy to
Yeah.
do that.
And maybe there, one second, Pam, maybe just something about the process for the future, because today is the very first time, we saw the application. And, well, I guess, with the announcement of the minutes for this meeting. And so there, we either need to have planning commission kind of more up to speed on, what legally, the El Roblar can do. They can't grant something they don't themselves have. So maybe think about it in the future about a way that we could streamline the process, because we don't want to be where it gets hung up. Okay. Yes,
I have
Pamela.
a question because I've created public art at the Ojai Valley Inn, and I had to submit designs to the Arts Commission that was approved before I made the piece. this, what I'm looking at here, looks like decoration. I mean, I accept that it's art, for sure, but it doesn't seem like it's gone through us
Right.
yet.
But it will go to
Well-
CAPA, that's Carl's whole point. It's going to go to CAPA,
Okay.
and then it's going to come back to the Arts Commission. So
Okay,
don't worry about that
I assume that it was
piece.
done based on,
Right.
This is preliminary, this
Okay.
is, yeah.
okay.
And we have had 2 liaisons and 3 liaisons in the last year, and it hadn't been clear as to what point, because we get involved. But just city staff give that some thought, because we don't want to be what holds you up. We want this to get addressed anytime.
Yeah, I think the Kappa thing is going to be fine. I'm more concerned with who owns it, that Christine put her head on.
Right,
That's
well,
an
they
absolute
can't. Well, we
critical
own it.
issue.
We'll fix that.
City owns it, right. They don't have it to grant.
Well, if there's going to be a
Unless
hold-up,
they're
it's
just
going to be
making
right
their own
there.
art. If it can't be public art.
It's going to be a hold-up, it's going to be right there.
Okay, stop
So-
everybody.
I
We-
I have a.
But we'll meet, we will figure it out.
Valerie?
I have a question with the copyright. That really stood out to me too. And, because the city owns it, it may make sense for the city to have the copyright for it. Otherwise, if the artist has the copyright, then the artist can go and make posters and do whatever they.
The
they want with
agreement
it.
can take care of that. There is seldom, if ever, a reason to take an artist's copyright and the license back to the commissioning party or the city will give the city everything it needs.
Yeah, this is.
We've dealt with this before.
Jurisdictions typically do that.
Yeah, we've
Again,
dealt with this
I'll
before.
discuss with the city attorney, because the provisions are laid out in the municipal code, so we'll make sure everything's on point.
Exactly.
I have another, for Commissioner Steiner. I understand that one of the municipal code requirements is that lobbies may be eligible if they are accessible to the public for a minimum of 8 hours, which they said that it's going to be 24 hours, and visible from the nearest public right-of-way. And so the nearest public right-of-way,
I'm going to stop you
Well,
right now, and this
okay.
is also the
CAPA will
point.
discuss it. It'll come back to
Precisely,
this,
the
and
point.
I suspect when it comes back to the full Arts Commission, it won't be in this entire form. There will probably be changes going through CAPA, working
Correct.
with the developer.
CAPA will address your point.
You had a miscellaneous, is there
as
anything
well.
there?
okay.
Yeah, just under miscellaneous, I'd probably hear from Christie, but just wanted to mention that this Saturday is Ojai Day, so Ojai Avenue will be closed, and I'm sure you guys know the event well, but I told her I would certainly mention it. And that concludes
What
the
about
staff update.
4 o'clock, the Ojai Pixies and the Ojai Blossom singing in the Libby Bowl? You didn't mention that, Carl.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Support Ojai Day, people. It's coming back, and I'm very pleased and thankful to the city to have budgeted to turn it back into closer to what we deserve, what the people deserve. Okay, I'm going to go through commissioner comments then. Just come around. Valerie?
See. Well, I'd like to congratulate Stephen Adams for being awarded Living Treasures, I think through the Rotary. He's at every Ojai event photographing and documenting, and that is definitely a true treasure. And 2 of our grant recipients, Ojai Storytelling Festival, their big weekend. It's the last weekend of October, and I went to their website, and they have so many different events going on. So, and then the Mandala also was a grant recipient, and River, what they created, the Mandala, is just spectacular. I haven't seen it in person. I've only been seeing the aerial shots, and it just has so much dimension to that. So that was very exciting to see. And I just want to say thank you to city staff. Been working really, really hard, and to the city council, and for the continued support for the arts in our community. Thank you.
Valerie? Nigel, you got anything for us?
I have no comments to make whatsoever, short of I'm glad to see 2 city council members here. Very much looking forward to getting this commission fixed appropriately and moving forward as quickly as we can.
Okay, Pamela?
I want to thank our 2 council people for being here. It really helps having this audience. It's lovely, and we really appreciate your support.
May I call on you, Christine, now?
Yes, thank
Okay.
you. Well, I would echo what my fellow commissioner said. Thank you. Thank you also to our city manager and to our planning commissioner. Thanks to our audience for being here. Thank you for organizing the presentation that brought so many people here. I think it brings that kind of vibrancy to us that we need. And I have to say, I'm sorry that we spent our entire summer on hiatus, and I'm glad we are back in order again. We've got ever so much to do under our 5-year plan that we really can't afford to take the summer off. So here we are, back in action. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Well, due to taking the summer off, our liaison came and went. This is Sousa. So, but why don't you guys, you have a duet, do you have? Okay, right.
Yeah. So yes, Sousa was feeling left out. She was having FOMO because she missed being her turn. This is our fate. You know, this is such a fun commission. We like this commission, so we want to be here. So I am your council liaison this quarter, and I'm very excited to be working with you all. I just want to express my support for some of the concerns that Commissioner Steiner brought up about the agreement, and I'd be happy to facilitate in that process in whatever way I can, although I trust our staff and our city manager and you, of course. And happy to hear that we're back, that we're going to have some meetings that you're doing so much incredible stuff. Pam, I just really want to thank you for the education programs that you put together. All of those sound fascinating, and I can't wait to attend. And the awards and the budget, just I really appreciate all your dedication and all your hard work. And I also am interested in, doing my part, doing whatever I can to help you function as a thriving arts commission. So please reach out. Please let me know how I can support, and I am here all the time. Thank you.
Okay, next meeting, Thursday, November 17th, 6 p.m. There'll be an announcement of the next meeting, Thursday, November 17th, 6 p.m. here in Chambers.
I so move.
May I move?
It's the 16th. It's
Ah,
typo.
okay. Who made the typo? Ooh. And Rachel, you get the honorary adjournment slam.
Oh, I do?
Yeah, it's a new thing that we do.
But first we move.
We second.
We adjourn. Second. All in favor? Okay.
Discussion. Thank you, Rachel.
Thank you.